It's the 1st of April 2024 and we're heading from Colon City at the northern end of the Panama Canal to the island of Aruba in the Caribbean. It's about 1100 kilometres, so you guessed it, day at sea time. Colon City might seem a strange name, but it's named after the person commonly known as Christopher Columbus. His actual name in Spanish was Cristobal Colon. It gets complicated. Anyway, the Caribbean, blue skies, placid waters, you know, all that stuff. No, it has other ideas. It's getting a bit frisky.
The next day.
So we're tied up in Aruba. Just ignore the oil rig off the shore there. Ocean a bit more Caribbean-like than yesterday, where it was trying to do a South Atlantic impersonation. There's one cruise ship already in, and there's another one over there on the way in. When we go ashore, we might actually run into some people who are not passengers off a cruise ship. We make our way off the ship and head for the bus for our excursion. I don't know what to expect from the island, which is a country in its own right but falls under the Kingdom of the Netherlands. The name of the capital, Oranjestad, is a bit of a hint. References to Beach Boys songs aside, this is Oranjestad in the background.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
On my beautiful island of Aruba, of our native language, Arriba. There you go, first timers?
Yep.
Yes, there you go, we're gonna have a blast on this morning because it's my first time too.
Okay, so this is what we're doing, get the tour in these. Looks like I'm going to actually have to drive on the right hand side of the road. Yep. And I don't have the luxury of an off-road park or somewhere isolated. I'm going to have to drive something I've never driven before on public roads on the wrong side for the first time. Let's see how we get on.
You want me to hold it?
A bit later on, yep. When you get off-road, you can do a hang it out the side thing. In our vehicle loading, said I'm going to have to drive on the right hand side of the road. That's going to be confusing, especially when you see the way some people pass around here. Yeah, so much to my joy, driving on a pretty busy public road. Pulled over, I think, waiting for some trailing Charlies. Somebody, I think, didn't take their handbrake off properly or didn't plug their seatbelt in or something, but they were doing about 20 miles an hour when we should have been doing 35. Yes, and it's in miles an hour as well, which is bloody confusing. A bit of on-the-job camera crew training going on here. I thought we'd have some good footage of the off-road bits we did, but the camera crew was holding on for grim death, even though I never got air. We stopped at this location called the Castle, but it's an old gold mill. See, so serious four-wheel drive, it's got a winch. Not the easiest thing to drive. It's a bit like the MUX. The steering feels like it's connected to the front wheel through an elastic band. Some ruins, I'll have to look up what they are later on. The guide did say the name, but it's an Indus. Yeah, that's not what I want. That's better. Language. Obviously built like by aliens where those rocks are stacked. It's a bit irregular. It's nice and cool out of the sun.
We will not be able to do this without mosquito net or bug repellent.
Do you do?
We do not. We can.
But you don't.
We don't because there are. We do, but we don't know. Because we have an industry of stuff that's too low. But because when it's hot, we have cuisine from 5 continents.
We're going to go through that.
Yeah, so we have development on the south side.
So even though it's a tropical island, it's a tropical desert island, quite literally.
Do you know family who beats Mother Nature?
As I was saying, even though Aruba is in the tropics, it's very much a desert island, complete with the cactus, lizards, etc.
So this is the female.
Yeah, that is the male and the gray is the female. Yeah,
You can see I like the basic simpleness of all this. Park right there, indicators there, front brake. And the mighty power of that, I don't know what it is. We just did an interesting steep section over that hill here. And well, I followed the instructions. They didn't say to put it in low range, but I would have put it in low range. There were some big rocks and steep climbs and descents on that. This is like God's finger in Namibia. There is no longer a natural bridge in Aruba. That's what's left of it. The footbridge. So I wonder if this is another natural bridge. It's the one over there, fairly on the north coast, and it's quite considerably rougher here than on the south coast, which is in the lee of the island with the way the wind is coming through. From the natural bridge we head over to a bird conservation area where there's some old buildings. It's hot. Cactus too. Some good thorn trees and acacias. You have to keep avoiding them along the side of the road. It's a bit of a problem because I haven't sort of grown into the width of the vehicle. Lots of prickly pear, which we had to eradicate as a pest in Australia. And an interesting looking one there. Sneaking up on a hummingbird. Not the best light for a shot, but at least I got to see one in the wild. Tiny. Where is it? It's about as big as my thumb. We finally actually got to see one.
that they brought at the beginning of the
water
1800s from
tanks.
Yemen. It's
Lift
not
them.
from our
I
island.
noticed
It's
the
from the
prickly
Middle
pear
East. And if you take a look at that
doesn't
beautiful
seem to have
aloe vera,
prickles.
the big size one over there.
Next stop, the beach. Angela found a nice shady spot under the bushes while I went for a dip in the Caribbean. I mean, you have to while you're here, don't you?
They built this small breakwater here. Snorkeling over there. Oh, there's a water park over there in the distance. Technology. So back on the bus, in the air conditioning. That was good, except the bits where you were driving on sort of like normal busy roads through roundabouts where everybody goes round the wrong way and stuff like that. We are covered in dust, need a wash, and I also got informed partway through the trip that there is no footage. There's no footage of the interesting four-wheel drive bits we did because the navigator had her eyes closed and didn't have her phone out. So heading back to the ship now, get cleaned up. Take some footage of what the town sort of looks like on the way back. And as you can see, it's a lot drier than you would think. It's an industrial area. Hyundai dealer, and I don't know what price Smart is. I seem to think there was a big Toyota dealer in there too. I saw on the way out. As I was to say, trying to record anything on this is a pain in the ass because the camera keeps timing out, and then you call it back and it goes back to photo mode. Yes, I've got more dedicated stuff, but I didn't want to bring it and lug it around in the back of the little buggy thing because it got bounced around a lot.
These are seafood restaurants along the waterfront. Would have liked to have tried something, but they were packed and I was starving, so we opted to eat on the ship.
That's the front of Parliament House. This is seafront interings. That ship over the back. This is at least the one port where the ship's been parked where you literally could just walk to everything. Yeah. It's not a watch. It's a status symbol.
Omega.
Yeah. Crap. Why come all the way here to buy something that you could just buy anywhere else? So, I have to make sure Angela doesn't see that place.
No.
That's not the one I'm worried about, but there's Gookie Place and Tiffany & Co. and I'll just...
Cartier.
Dum-de-dum, she hasn't seen it yet.
What?
In Cartier.
I saw the Colombian emblems.
Thought you'd be off the bus in a trifle. I love this pink confection of a building. It's, if we ever get far enough forward to see more of it, it's quite a big building in distinct Dutch colonial architecture. Nearly forgot. Yeah, really interesting.
Tommy Hilfiger.
Oh god, more fashion.
Chris likes Tommy Hilfiger.
That there is evidently the Royal Plaza. And the back is the Best for Less, which is, I think it's the equivalent of our $2 shop. We've got out of the main expensive part of town, we've got into the like souvenir shops and Habibi market kind of thing. What? So that on and off was the town centre. The Rhapsody of the Sea or something there. Bumps. And we're in front of that. Looks like they're recycling pallets and bits and pieces again.
Back on board, had something to eat and up in the lounge with drinky poos watching the world go by.
Anyway, basically that's it. Done our dash. Got to manoeuvre the ship out of that there, and then we're heading to Fort Lauderdale between Haiti and Cuba, and then up the back of the Bahamas, and then Fort Lauderdale, where hopefully we will successfully negotiate US immigration and the airport security and be off to sunny Wales. I was looking for where the hell this frigate bird went. They're really quite big. They're just about as big as the pelicans here. The pelicans here compared to the Australian ones are dinky. Get it. Okay. We're finally underway. We don't have to quite go home to do our own cooking, washing and housekeeping yet, but one of the things I didn't get out of was making tea and coffee in the morning. This is quite a skinny little spot. The spots that they managed to get an 80,000 tonne ship into and out of is amazing.
So that's it, the last port of call on our cruise. We head out to sea and off to our final destination at Fort Lauderdale in Florida in the US of A. It's about 2,000 kilometres, so yes, a day at sea to give us time to pack and be ready to leave the ship. We'll weave between Haiti and Cuba, past the Turks and Cactus Islands and the Bahamas. Exotic names, but if Aruba was any example, nice places but too touristy for us. We can just jump in the car and go somewhere hot and drink cocktails if we want. It's been quite a trip, a bit over 14,000 kilometres and 15 stops, but it's not quite over yet. Given that we have to cross half the world to get home, we're going to go east, not west, across the Pacific and visit people in Wales and England. So join us in the next videos for the joys of Llandudno and London before we finally head home to Australia. See you in the next video and thanks for watching.